So Shabbat Shalom. Am I on time now? Perfect. Okay. It is really nice to see you all. It's been quite a while. It feels like forever. And so it's really nice to spend time with you. It's what?
For a month.
Yeah, for a month. It was a long month. But it's good. And it's really lovely to see you all here and be able to pray together and sing together and have fun. So, if you would please, we will turn to page 3 in our prayer book, page 3.
We begin by lighting the lights of Shabbat. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As the brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Thank you. If you would turn in your prayer book to page 6, at the top of the page. And Aaron, how would you like to read the English for the top 2 paragraphs?
We enter the sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence and goodness. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings that God endured, a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. His presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Now we, in our turn, come into the sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace, and holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, and flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer.
If you turn now, please, to page 10. And Lisa and Steve, you want to, and Jack, you want to sing together? Look right down below. Now, this is going to be a total interesting experience, because what we're going to do is we're going to do Ma'ayafa Hayom, and then we're going to split it. And so maybe one of you and Jack, will each of you take one side and do the other side, and then everybody can sing. It'll be fun. And if not, it's okay. All right? So we're going to Ma'ayafa Hayom, page 10. That's over here. And over here is still page 10, but you guys are going to lead from here. Okay? So we'll do it once all the way through, and then we'll split it and hope for the best.
This is unrehearsed.
Okay?
Ma'ayafa Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Maya V'Hayom, Shabbat Shalom, Maya V'Hayom,
Shabbat Shalom.
You goofed me up.
Maya
I can't find my way now. Shabbat Shalom,
Shabbat
Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. He takes the fall on that.
Either that or everybody, when you go home, you gotta look in the mirror and sing the song to the mirror so you get it next time you come. All right, let's go one more to Elech Hamda Libi at the very bottom of page 11.
Elech Hamda Libi,
Hosanna ve'amati talem. Elech Hamda Libi, Hosanna ve'amati talem. Elech Hamda Libi, Hosanna ve'amati talem. Elech Hamda Libi, Hosanna ve'amati talem. Elech Hamda Libi, Hosanna ve'amati talem. Elech Hamda Libi, Hosanna ve'amati talem. Page 20. Okay, and you guys?
Shahamor v'zachor v'dibor echad, Ishmi adu el hamukad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem teferet v'letehillah, Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi l'krat kala, V'nei Shabbat yikavela, Lecha Dodi l'krat kala, V'nei Shabbat yikavela, L'krat Shabbat ze'echu v'ne'elcha, Ki himekor ha'bracha, Ve'hirosh miket e'mesucha, Sofa se'lemat Shabbat hilah. Lecha, lecha, dodi, dodi, lecha, dodi, l'krat kala, Ve'nei Shabbat yikavela, Lecha, dodi, l'krat kala, Ve'nei Shabbat yikavela. Hitorari, hitorari, ki ha'orei, uri, 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 shirari, kivod Adonai Elohim milah, lecha dodi, dodi, lecha dodi l'krat kala,
Page 24. And we join together with Shalom Aleichem as we greet our mythical angels who come and prepare us for Shabbat.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachim Sharei, Malachim Elyon, Li Melech, Malachim Malachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Malachim Shalom, Malachim Shalom, Malachim Elyon, Li Melech, Malachim Malachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Malachim Shalom, Malachim Shalom, Malachim Elyon, Li Melech, Malachim Malachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedek Shalom, Malachim Shalom, Malachim Elyon, Li Melech, Malachim Malachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Page 25 at the very bottom under the line. And we read together. And so we understand that ordinary people are messengers of the Most High. They go about their tasks in holy anonymity, often even unknown to themselves. Yet if they had not been there, if they had not said what they said or did what they did, it would not be the way it is now. We would not be the way we are now. Never forget that you too may be his messenger, perhaps even one whose errand extends over several lifetimes. Page 26. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'amad yivrach yirutei v'yamliv malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala ba'agala uv'izman kariv b'meru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'me'omaya yitbarach yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei kudeshah rihu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran v'yalma v'meru amen. As you were standing up, quick question. I've been finding out things that I haven't known before, one of which is, do you open the Ark traditionally in this congregation before the Baruch Hu? Yes, no, or maybe?
I don't think
No, okay. If so, then tell me afterwards. Okay. All right, page 28, we join together. La 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 la. Baruch hu et Adonai Page 31. And we all join together at the top of the page. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv, ha'ravim. We continue with Ahavat Olam on the next page.
Ahavat Olam,
Page 37. And we read together. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Let them keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gates. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God. Page 39. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth.
The high heavens declare your glory, the earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your purpose.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Ye kamocha ha'elim Adonai, ye kamocha ne'enar b'kodesh. No rakehilo, o seifele, no rakehilo, o seifele.
redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. And we continue on page 42, Hashkivenu.
Ufros Aleinu,
Sukkot Shlomecha, Ufros Aleinu, Sukkot Shlomecha, spread over all of us, Sukkot of Shalom, spread over all of us, the Sukkot of Shalom. Ufros Aleinu, Sukkot Shlomecha, Ufros Aleinu, Sukkot Shlomecha. Page 44. And we are going to read the two passages in English this evening. And so we join together, all of us. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God ceased from work and was refreshed. Those who keep Shabbat by calling it a delight will rejoice in your realm. The people that count Shabbat will delight in your goodness. For being pleased the seventh day you hallow as the most precious of days, drawing our attention to the work of creation. Page 46, please rise. And did you normally open the ark at this point? We're checking here. Everybody says I have no idea. Okay. If you come up with an idea, you let me know. Okay. Page 46. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Sfatai Tiftach. Na 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 Ufi Yagid. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Sfatai Tiftach. Na 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 Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot U'Mevi Geula Livnei Bneihem L'man Shemo B'Ahava Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ve'ezra Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayeh HaKol Atah Rav LaHoshia Mechakel Chaim B'Chesed Mechayeh HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim Somech Noflim V'Rofeh Olim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Lichamocha Bal Gevurot Umidol Melach Melech Memit Umechayeh Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'amanat HaChayot HaKol Baruch atah Adonai Mechayeh HaKol Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh U'Kdoshi B'chol Yom Yehalucha Selah Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh 55. And be seated. Together, may these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Please turn the page. Top of 57. We join together. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands, you are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha v'yirah na'avod. And we continue now on page 59.
God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. When we behold your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and stars that you set in place, what are we humans that you are mindful of us? We mortals that you take note of us. You made us little less than divine, adorned us with glory and majesty. You gave us dominion over your handiwork, laying the world at our feet. How majestic is your name throughout the earth.
Page 60. We continue now with our own silent meditations. יסגוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יסגוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יסגוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יסגוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יסגוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יסגוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. Some time ago, I received a phone call. It was from a little boy's mother. He was in 2nd grade. The child, it seems, was rather upset. You see, the class was making red and green Christmas wreaths to decorate their classroom. The teacher told the child that everyone was going to make the same kind of wreath, with red and green Christmas wreaths, and so this child had to do so also. The teacher told the child that he needed to make a wreath. It's Christmas, you gotta do it. But the little boy didn't want to. He wanted to make a menorah for his home. But the teacher insisted that everyone had to make a wreath. Somewhere around 4 or 5 years later, there was another student who was out in the yard in the classroom. I don't remember if it was soccer or lacrosse, and I'm not sure I could tell the difference. But in any way, this woman, this teenager, was an athlete. The teacher gathered the team together and had them stand in a circle. The teams were supposed to put their arms around each other's shoulders and to pray to Jesus so that they would win. After the game, the kids were to gather around to thank Jesus for helping them win the game. Now, this happened a while ago. However, if you think back to some of the news that's been online recently, it's almost the same. It's a little weird. There's some strange things going on. So this happened a while ago, and it's happening in certain places now. With permission now granted in different places and states, many people feel that it's perfectly fine. But it's not okay. It's really and truly not okay. The URJ, the Reform Movement, Union for Reform Judaism, explained, and they said, the principle of separation of church and state is best for both church and state, and it is dispensable for the preservation of that spirit of religious liberty, which is a unique blessing of American democracy. And if any of you have ever met David Saperstein, this is his words. And he continued, the separation of church and state is something sacred that has been sewn into the fabric of our lives, the diversity, the strength, and the caring of our country. In prior years, the Supreme Court ruled that any kind of school-sponsored prayer, even when it is led by students, is a violation of the First Amendment. The Supreme Court justices have ruled against school worship, but they do allow student religious activities. As Jews, we have suffered so many times when there was a particular religion in place over others. Jews and so many others have faced persecutions, suffered terrible oppressions, and often with no real guarantees. Our history, being a religious minority, reminds us to pay attention. Certainly we've had frightening times, but we have generally enjoyed our freedom to exercise our Judaism equally with other religions under our nation's protection. There was a case in the Supreme Court a number of years ago, and the court said that the athletic events are school-sponsored activities. There can't be a differing option for different students. They all have to be able to have equal right for playing the games and doing the regular work of school. The Supreme Court ruled that the public school athletic events are school activities. It was determined that school worship, even if it's under the aegis of a student-initiated event, it is a real threat to true and religious freedom. Okay, it is okay if students want to pray. They can pray, it's okay. But they need to do it quietly and voluntarily in appropriate settings. It is apparently constitutionally permitted and protected. However, again, you have to be quiet if you're going to disrupt the class. Now, with the changes that are happening in our world, we are discovering that what is impermissible is school officials organizing or conducting prayer or permitting such activities at school-sponsored events. Students can pray privately if they choose, or, in quotes, during lunch, a quarterback can pray that his pass will be completed, or that a field goal kicker, that his aim is true, or that a group of students can step aside and say a prayer if it does not interfere with the activity. Now listen though, things are still changing. SCOTUS said that if the prayer is happening, you gotta pay attention, you gotta listen and say, what's going on? What does this mean? Voluntary prayers read over a loudspeaker are not okay for religious reasons. Individual prayers, quietly said, are okay, and therefore it's okay. So now let's talk about the 10 Commandments just a little tiny bit. These are little pieces that all come together. So we talk about the 10 Commandments in the schools. We, as members of the Reform movement, are opposed to posting religious doctrine on the walls. Not only do we undermine the separation of church and state, but we also can't tell you which separation is right. And there are apparently also a whole bunch of various versions for different faiths. You are aware, I assume, that the separation of church and state takes place, but there are 2 different books in the Bible, and they have slightly different changes. So you really can't pick one over the other because they're both different. The Central Conference of American Rabbis is the body that I belong to as a Reform rabbi. We call it the CCAR, it's easier that way. The CCAR stand is that religious displays are religious. They are unconstitutional, therefore, and they violate the First Amendment. If there is even one no, the following questions, any of these 3, they can't pass. The first question: does the law or action avoid excessive entanglement of government with religion? Question number 2. Does the primary effect of the law or action neither advance nor inhibit religion? In other words, is it neutral? Question 3. Does the challenged law or other governmental action have a bona fide secular or non-religious or civic purpose? So as you think about these ideas, as you look around, as you wonder how people are thinking, what is important, what are we looking at, what are we trying to learn from, what we want to do. There's been a lot of talk about schools, and I specifically decided to talk about schools today because someone had suggested this. And as we look around, as we are aware, we don't want to just say, oh no, it's okay. We'll just ignore them, because it's not okay. If we are taking someone else's religious tradition, or if they are taking our religious tradition, we are taking away from our faith. And that's not okay. We need to be aware, and we need to be thinking about what's happening. There is a small little program. We're not going to do the program, but I just want to tell you a little bit about it. It was a program that I worked on in St. Louis a long time ago. And the kids wanted to teach the high school kids what it meant to look like being Jewish, feel like being Jewish, or hear Judaism, anything like it. So they put the kids into groups of 4. And each of the groups of 4 got permission from the principal and from the superintendent in order to go into the classrooms for a half an hour to teach people what it meant to be Jewish if you're not Jewish. How do you learn it? How strange does it look? And so the kids were then, the Jewish kids then said, okay, so what questions do you have? What are you thinking about? What would make you understand or not understand? Did you get an idea that there's an important concept behind all of this? And then the kids decided, these were the high school kids, the kids decided that they wanted, the Jewish kids, that they wanted to bring food. And so, because if you feed them, they will come, right? So anyway, they decided that they would buy challah and they would buy grape juice. And they would give everybody a little bit of challah and a little bit of grape juice, and they explained it to them. And they also talked about lighting Shabbat candles. So these are a whole series of different ways that we can reach out and learn and experience with other people and help them to understand us a little bit better, just a little bit better, and help them to understand how we function together as a larger community and also together as a smaller community within the Jewish community. Thoughts or questions? It's a little bit different. Okay. In that case, we are going to do one other thing. We are not having services tomorrow morning because people were going on holidays. So, Torah study, yeah. So we're not going to be here tomorrow morning. We will be here the following week. You obviously can come in during the week, and also services will resume, are resuming, have resumed, are still resuming, Friday night, and that's at 5:30. Okay. And then Saturday morning, 10 o'clock, Torah study. Okay? Lastly, for those of you who are interested in what's going on at Temple, I want to give you just a little bit of concept, a little bit of some of the ideas that are being put out by our committees. We have a ritual committee, and our ritual committee is, at this point in time, this is not complete, is Steve Stone and Mary Beth Cohen and Bernard Schoenberg and Nancy Chesley and Amy Gross and Mark. We also have now an adult education committee. Denise Argemond is the co-chair with Lisa Stone, and Steve Stone is going to be there too. We are also going to be involved, we are involved with social action events. So that's Grady Holly and Remy Beneshu, and Kim Schoenberg is also going to be participating. In fundraising, we're talking about Kathleen Perianti. We're talking about, and she's the coach, she's the chair, Sharon Green and Lorraine Robinson. And then we talk about building and grounds, Brad Ziegler. And we also have help from Sam Gordon and Harvey Rothschild. Look at all these people who are joining to participate and help. It's wonderful. And there's a caring committee, which is helping people in need. And that's Denise Argemon and Sherry Worker, and Sharon Starr is the chair. There's a membership committee, Joni Abramowitz and Aaron Stern, and they are the co-chairs, and Robert Fair is also participating. SBJE is certainly participating. Robert Rabin, Joni Abramowitz, Sharon Starr, and Hunter Gross. And the Jewish Community Relations Council, Mark Raven, Steve Stone, Lisa Stone, and Ralph Lowenstein. And it looks like, Lisa, you are the sisterhood appointee. And apparently I am Springfield Federation, Jewish Federation. So, just to give you a little bit of a sense of what goes on when you're not listening at a board meeting. Okay, we are going to continue at this point in time. If you would please turn to page 253, page 253. One other minor thing, I put it here so I wouldn't forget. We're going to have one of these kind of little booklets next week, and if anybody has something that you think should go in the booklet, let me know by Thursday afternoon. Okay, so if you want something inside the booklet, it's waiting for you to give me ideas, and we will fill in the inside, but make sure that everybody gets what they need to put in there. So if you need to do that, just talk to me about it. Okay, so 253. We are at this moment in time thinking about all those people who have had a really tough time, all those people who it's just been hard, and people have been ill, and people that are so important to each of us. It reminds us how important they are, and helps us to hold on to them and hold on to them tightly. So the Misha Berach is a prayer that says that we are finding the courage to make a blessing. And so if anybody is saying a Misha Berach at this point in time, I invite you to do so.
Jeff and Gloria Carlos.
Your aunt Sadell.
Joanne Stone Wyman.
Jake Becker.
Elaine Phillips and Howard Rhodes.
Anybody else over here?
Denise Parker.
Anybody in the back? So we're going to join together with the Misha Berach as we ask God to grant healing to all those who are in need of healing, healing of body, healing of soul, and healing of mind. We join together. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'imotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Please turn now to page 258. Page 258. We join together at the bottom. O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders vision, forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. Amen. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love and spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen. My next question is, do you normally open the ark and then close it? Or do you just not? It's what? Half of the time. Okay, so you come up and do the one half and you stay in your seat.
No, half the time you open one door.
Okay. Please rise.
What?
Come on up. I kind of like opening the ark, so it's fun.
You didn't like my idea.
And that would be on page 282.
Alleluia, Shabbat, what faith in the love of celebration. Shalom, son of Kudayah, Ratzot, Ve'os Avayim, Krishna Shalom, Shalom, son of Kudayah, Ve'or Aleinu, Kekol Ha'olam, V'anahu Ori, U'mishpachani U'moti, Lifnei Melech, Malchei Hamachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Page 287. Thank you. Page 292. When cherished ties are broken and the chain of love is shattered, only trust and the strength of faith can lighten the heaviness of the heart. At times, the pain of separation seems more than we can bear, but if we dwell too long on our loss, we embitter our hearts and harm ourselves and those about us. The psalmist said in his affliction that he learned the law of God, and in truth, grief is a great teacher when it sends us back to serve and to bless the living. We learn how to counsel and to comfort those who, like ourselves, are bowed with sorrow. We learn when to keep silent in their presence and when a word will assure them of our love and our concern. Thus, even when they are gone, the departed are with us, moving us to live as in their higher moments they themselves wished to live. We remember them now. They live in our hearts. They are an abiding blessing. Do we have anybody who is saying a prayer for a Kaddish prayer for tonight?
Susan Weaver.
Dolores Rothschild.
Lori Cohen.
Anybody else? As we remember those individuals and how much they meant and how special they were, we rise, we join together in the Mourner's Kaddish. Lawrence Berlin, father of Becky Trieger. Gloria Cohen, mother of Mary Beth Cohen. John Woods, partner of Edie Schultz. Lucas Jacob Schwartz, grandson of Barb and Mike Schwartz. Eleanor Zaraski, mother of Richard Zaraski. Elaine Beneshu, father of Remy Beneshu. Margaret Routman Schoenfeld, aunt of Carol Lowenstein. Jeanette Catherine Scrow, mother of Greg Scrow and daughter-in-law of Leslie. Susan Fair Lieber, sister of Sarah Estep and sister-in-law of Les Estep. Esteban Cortez, cousin of Eva Muller. Joseph F. Zaraski, brother of Richard Zaraski and brother-in-law of Betsy. Dr. Arthur Frank, brother of Stuart Frank and brother-in-law of Amber Barnhart. Dolores Rothschild, wife of Harvey Rothschild. Mark Kessler, brother of Gary Kessler. We remember also those who have died at this season in years past. Sam A. Barker, Sigmund Benjamin, Sophia Brown, Rose Ellis Pfeffer, Erwin Fisher, Donald Grass, Fanny Harris, Irving Hurwitz, Elaine Carlin, Jack Clowens, Peggy Klein, Lillian Lidbeck, Joseph Michael Lubin, Flora Luden, Helen Metnick, Hattie Meyerson, Eric Nadell, Shirley Robinson, Harold Sampson, Paul Shosow, Judith Eileen Shapiro, Martin Smith, and Robert Weisskopf. And we remember, of course, all those who died, Kiddushat Hashem, all those who died because they were murdered. As we turn to page 294, we join together in the Kaddish prayer. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yamad yivrach cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chaye kol v'yomecho, uv'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agalah v'zman kariv imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olmei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yithalel v'yithalal shemei kudusha barichu la'ela mikol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran v'yalma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlomo rabba min shemayim v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav Uya Aseh Shalom, Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, and let us all say, amen. Please have a seat. Page 343, top of the page. Modeh lefanecha, melech chai v'kayam, shechezarta b'nishmati b'chemla, rabba emunatecha, modeh ani lefanecha. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. A pleasure to spend Shabbat with you, and I look forward to seeing you downstairs.